exciting, not exciting, it's not the right word, but just, knowing you're taking another step towards the season when you see live BP stuff.
Yeah, that's early to have lives, but the pitchers are ready to do it. That's part of the routine, and they're at that point in getting the whole getting process and getting ready, and they look great. Chris is Chris, and walk in the park for him, and the two young kids look good, so it's a good day.
Acuña told me that he's feeling 200% healthy. So what does it mean?
Is there such a thing?
I guess now. So what does it mean when you hear that?
It's great. He told me the same thing. Not that, but he said he feels amazing. He looks great. Yeah, he's a one-of-a-kind talent, and I'm really excited to watch him play this year.
How much better is this team when you guys have a healthy Acuña doing his best?
Yeah, he's one of the best players in the game, right? I mean, he's done things that literally haven't been done before in this game. So, yeah, it's a game changer. He's one of those guys that's a total game changer, and having him healthy is a big deal.
We were talking to Hef, and he said the decision to join the Braves was easy because of the people in this building. It was very complimentary of you. What can you say about your relationship with him and just what he's going to bring?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's really come a long way in a short time. Some of these guys I'd never met before. Hef was one of them, but he came so highly recommended from everybody, but people that we really trust too. So, and I think he's an example of, I think what we've done well here. And Alex, it starts with Alex and his team, but he's an example of we've found the sweet spot between the information and the tech that's available to us now, and the wisdom that comes from being in uniform and being in the trenches and being through the wars for a long time. And I think the coaching staff is emblematic of that. They're relatively young, but they're very experienced at the same time, and they have a really good feel for the game, and at the same time understand all the new age stuff. I think that can help us get better quickly. So it's really, and Hef's a perfect example of that. He's really good, really smart guy. I had a kid with the Mets that I coached as a young kid, had Hef in the big leagues with the Mets and loved him. So, yeah, a bunch of people keep saying the same things about someone. It's probably true.
What would
thanks.
Sorry,
Thanks,
it
Alan.
was
It's good luck, though, I think.
it wasn't a good one.
how would you assess the type of coach that Hef is? We kind of asked him, and he said he's really a relationship guy, but then also mentioned in another sentiment that he's really cerebral as well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And I think to be a good coach, you have to be somewhat of a relationship guy. We know there's a line there between player coach, player manager. I get it. But if you don't connect with these guys on a personal level to some degree, it's going to be tough to ever earn the trust that you need to have the difficult conversations and what have you. So that's a big part of it. And I don't care how much you know or how smart you are, if you can't connect with a player, and to the point where you can speak confidence into him and he believes what you're saying, you're never going to get the most out of him. So Hef is a great example of a guy that he connects with them, but he also can speak their language, because these guys all know the new language, and that's what they want, and Hef can do that as well as anybody.
Well, you guys had a good staff before, but
Yeah.
just all of these different faces, is this kind of new energy? I mean, is it refreshing? Is it more energetic?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if it's more energetic, but it's definitely new, and I felt like we've always had great staffs here, very different than the makeup of the staff now, but still very good staffs. So it's just different. I don't think the new energy and the new voices is a bad thing, and again, Alex and I worked pretty hard on putting this staff together. I mean, we didn't do it overnight. We grinded on it, and we feel like we've got some really good people in this building on this staff. So yeah, look, I love the staff. I was one of them. I was one of the coaches. For 8 years here, and I thought our staffs were unbelievable. But I'm really excited about this staff.
Well, you had said when you came in a little earlier to do live BP than normal. What was the reasoning for that?
I think that's where the pitchers are at this point. In their ramp up. For the season, they're ready for lives, and so you keep it going instead of putting that on hold for a few days. Just because that's what we've always done. These guys are ready to go, and we of course, it being a WBC year, you got guys that want the at bats, so it just worked out. But typically, yeah, we don't start to do that till the first day of full squad or second day of full squad. So it's a little early, but that's where these guys are at.
I know you like what you saw today out of the younger guys, Hurston and JR. Just when you've seen them throughout these first couple days, individually, what stood out about them?
Well, I haven't seen a whole lot of them, especially JR. I mean, that's the first time I laid eyes on him. Was today on the mound anyway, and I hear really good things. And I told the pitchers the other day before they went out for their first day that everyone sitting in the room is going to have to help us at some point, more than likely. That's just the nature of it. And so, he's one of those guys. That's on our radar. Hurston is really impressive, man. I mean, it's big time stuff. It's big time swing and miss stuff. And I think we've just seen the tip of the iceberg with him. I mean, he's exciting.
We heard Spencer Strider today was telling us about, I'm going to pace myself a little bit more this year. I kind of understand how long the season is, what I got to do at spring training. How encouraging is that? I mean, look, we all loved his high intensity and stuff, but just see a guy grow and kind of understand.
Yeah, that's just wisdom, right? That's being through it. And he's not going to be any less intense. He's going to be the same guy. But I think you've been around, a few spring trainings, a few seasons, and you start to figure things out. A lot of it is trial and error because not everybody's going to be on the same program. You got to kind of figure out what's good for you. And I think Spencer's in the process of doing that. And we all know he's a really smart guy, very in tune with his body and how it moves and how it works. And so he's always doing the research and he's always out in front of it. But he's going to be just as intense on the mound. But he's probably just making some adjustments in how he gets ready.
Talked to Austin, who said he used this offseason to kind of work on his mobility, his athleticism, but also got a chance to work with Tim already on fixing some of the hip slide and everything like that. The work that he's put in, and the player that he could be for this group for you guys, what is he going to mean?
Yeah, Austin's great. Having him and Matt as the bookends there in the infield, those guys are really reliable, great leaders in their own way. But I think Austin's going to have a big year. The thing about this league is nobody does great every year except for the Hall of Famers. They're the only ones that do well every year. It's a tough game. So, and even the Hall of Famers have tough years. So it's not every year that you're going to put up an MVP type caliber year. The league is just too difficult. But at the same time, even in their off years, they've been solid years, and that's the mark of a star player. And for me, that's Austin Riley. Yeah.
What do you really look for in these live BPs? What are you kind of looking at? Is it velocity, pitch? What are you trying to see from you?
Yeah, for me, it's more about the pitchers than the hitters. It's pitching practice. I think overall, spring training is more about the pitchers than the hitters. They're the ones that need all 6.5 weeks to get ready. The position players, they're ready with 2 weeks to go. So yeah, it's more about watching how the pitchers operate. And I've talked about this before. It's just I like to see, especially young guys, that they look like they're in control of their surroundings. Is how I like to put it. Just meaning that you get them out there in a game. When things start to speed up, they can still defend themselves. They can slow the game down. The body language is good. All that stuff makes an impression on me.
We saw Suarez get to throw. First impressions, we've seen him actually do a bullpen today.
Yeah, big strong kid. He was a great get for us. I'm really excited about having him down in our bullpen. Our bullpen, of course, coming in the off season, there were a lot of questions about it, and that's what people were questioning. And I don't see that anymore. It looks like it's going to be a really strong bullpen, which is great. Yeah.
So many of the guys we talked to today, when they referenced you, they're really excited about it. They love the familiarity they have with you. They enjoy being around you. I mean, now that you're in this different role, is there anything that you did in the off season to build upon those relationships or do anything differently more than you would in the previous role?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the relationships were already intact, but I tried to check in with most of these guys over the course of the winter. Now, I didn't do that in the past, especially as a bench coach. You don't really have an area, But now the last couple of years, I was bench coach and the infield coach, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, just as a bench coach, you don't really have an area of the team or the guys that you're working, that you're hands-on with. So, but yeah, as a manager, I think again, it's about connecting, on a personal level and checking in with these guys. And I think it's important that they know that you care about them, and that's part of it. So yeah, that part was a little bit different for me.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it as always.